What's up everybody? James here with Squatch Bikes. Today Brittany and I are going to take you on one of our favorite rides here in Dupont. It is from the Cornmill Shoals parking lot. We're going to go across the street at the trailhead. We're going to take Cornmill Shoals over to Little River, and Little River to the backside of Cedar Rock. We're going to go up Cedar Rock. At the top, we're going to stop for a minute and go over a couple of the reasons why this is one of our favorite spots. And then we're going to bring you down Big Rock back to the parking lot here. Roll the intro.
Welcome to Squatch Bikes.
We are just getting started here. Went around the gate and you'll see Longside here on our left. We're going to stay to the right, keep heading up. We are about another 100 yards in. This is the bottom of Big Rock. This is actually where we're going to be coming out. We're going to stay to the right again and keep heading up Cornmill Shoals. So we're not very far in and we're already to our first fast little downhill chute. It is on gravel. We do want to be careful because there's a lot of hikers on this generally, so we want to make sure that we have a good field of vision and stay out of people's way if they're hiking. Anyway, we're going to shoot down this right now and we will see you at the bottom of Burnt Mountain and the split for Little River. So we're still not very far in and we've already made it to the bottom here of Burnt Mountain. We're going to kind of go straight through here. There's a little opening here. You can take a little break if you want. And right down here, we are going to split to the left, and that's the beginning of Little River. And Little River is then going to take us to the backside of Cedar Rock. We are going to cross a river in there. It's more of a stream. There's some rocks there that we can get across, and there used to be a bridge there. Well, we made it across the little stream here. As you approach it, you come up onto the right and there are some rocks that are usually exposed, but today they weren't, and they can be a little bit slick. As I almost found out, and Brittany did find out, you can slide right off and you end up with wet shoes. At any rate, right up here, just past the stream crossing, is the steep side of Cedar Rock. And we don't want to take that, not for this trip at least. So we're going to stay to the right and go right past it. It'll be on our left. So we have now made it to the end of Little River and the start of Cedar Rock. This is going to begin our main climb up. We're going to stop up here. There's a little bit of a confusing section when we get out in the open to the power lines. We'll stop there. We'll show you all about that. But other than that, we are hopefully warmed up because the climb really begins now. We'll see you guys in a bit. So we're not too far into Cedar Rock and we've already gotten into this exposed area where there's these big power lines coming through. It can be a little bit confusing if this is your first time here because there's no trees, so to speak, no dirt trail. So what you want to do when you get out here, you look to the left and the slick rock will actually get discolored from where the tires go. It's usually lighter because the tires kind of remove some of the algae and mosses that have built up over time and some of the dirt. But when you come out to this area here, You get to the power lines, you just want to start going uphill, around to the left in a U shape, and it'll bring you back into the trees, and then you begin your real slick rock climb, which definitely gets a little bit steeper. So we're going to go do that, and we'll see you at kind of the next split and the next feature, so to speak, during the climb. So Cedar Rock definitely has some steep climbs in it, but it also has a few technical sections, some rooty sections, some rocks, some boulders to climb up over. We're going to show you one of those right here. Brittney and I are going to just try to pedal right through it. You can hammer through it. You can kind of take your time and pick your lines. There's a whole bunch of different lines in it. So when you get to these spots, make sure that you have some lung and heart left, because this is a steep little climb, and when you get here, you do have to kind of smash through these roots. But we'll see you on the other side. So after that rooty section back there, you had a quick steep up on some slick rock, and then it takes us up to a split. This split right here, it's really just kind of like a small island. You can go left, you can go right, but it takes you back to the same point. After that, you do have a quick steep up, a couple boulders at the end of it to kind of sneak over, and then it takes you to the final climb all the way to the top where we see that iconic sign of Cedar Rock, Big Rock. We'll see you guys up there. So we have now made it to the top of Cedar Rock. We're here at the Cedar Rock, Big Rock intersection, the kind of iconic sign. Lots of people like to take pictures here. We're gonna hook around in through here onto Big Rock for the descent. A little bit more climbing, not much. But this is one of the reasons that we absolutely love this trail. If you look out here, the view is just spectacular. And if you go down the steep side of Cedar Rock, which we actually passed on the way up here, you can get a great sunrise photo. So when we go over to the Big Rock side, we'll show you kind of an area where we go for the sunset photos. But really, we'll get into both of those areas in a different video for the photography end of things. But for now, we're gonna get rolling on Big Rock. So we are now on the Big Rock side, and this view here is really what makes this ride, or at least a portion of this ride, so spectacular. It makes it why it's one of our favorites, really. The sunset's right over there. We're out on this big slick rock, open face knob here. So when you come up here, make sure you take this in for a little bit. If you come in the evening, the Big Rock side is great for sunsets. If you're up here super early in the morning, the sunrise is over on the Cedar Rock side. So we're now going to descend Big Rock. Big Rock kind of throws a little bit of everything at us. It's got slick rock, it's got some chunky stuff, it has flow. It's a lot of fun. It opens back up in areas, you're back in the woods. It's just constantly changing. The Cedar Rock climbs about 450 feet, depending on which thing you look at, or I guess maybe which way you go. So we're just going to drop in now. We'll show you a couple of those areas, maybe a little bit of the chunkier stuff, and we'll see you guys at the bottom. So we've just gone through our first initial chunky portion of Big Rock. It was in the trees. We've now opened up onto some slick rock. We're gonna get into a little bit of a steep part, and it's gonna make kind of an oddball right-hander with a little bit more chunky stuff. When we come out of that, we're gonna hit into another steep section, and that next steep section, we're gonna go slow through just to show you that your bikes can basically roll through it. You don't need to bomb through it because there are some new holes developing in that area. But we'll show you both these sections right up here. All right, so this section here can be a little bit visually intimidating. You don't need to hammer through it, but there is some off-camber stuff, and there is a new hole forming right here. That hole got bigger. So this section here is probably one of the most visually deceiving areas. I'm gonna go to the middle, right down it. Brittney's gonna stay left, and you just roll through. So you have now ridden Cedar Rock and Big Rock with us. This is absolutely one of our favorite trails here in Dupont. It kind of throws everything at you. You've got slick rock, you've got flow, you've got some chunky stuff, you have some challenging climbs, little drops along the way, tons of different lines to choose, and obviously the views. I hope you guys really enjoy this. This is absolutely one of our favorites. If you're in the Brevard area, come ride with us. Stick around to the end because Pat may have some strange lines on this. So we just got done filming the guided tour of Cedar Rock, Big Rock. The sunset looked so awesome. Brittney and I decided let's just go back up and take a few pictures. This is just a great spot to come up to. In my life. This is how John keeps me out here. This is what keeps me going. Yeah. Without this stuff, there's no way I'd make it through these videos. We can be out here for hours sometimes. And I get hangry. I get very hangry. And this stuff right here is like gold. So good. Thanks, John.